Yesterday was a memorable day, and the Pirates have another important contest again tonight. They'll entertain the Chicago Cubs here in the second game of this two-game series, and moving up a game against the first place Cubs. 6 games back of Chicago now in the division, and 3 back for that second and final wild card berth. And now the Pirates have some reinforcements. Chris Archer arrives today.
He's here. He is here, and there's a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement around the city of Pittsburgh, and also in the Pirate clubhouse as they welcome their new starting pitcher, and he looks happy to be here. And this is going to be an interesting thing to watch him as he works Friday night. He makes his Pirates debut, and you know, he is going to be a welcome addition to this ball club. But let's not forget this entire ball club too, because there's a buzz not only about Archer, but these Pittsburgh Pirates as a team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Joe Block and Steve Blass with you here tonight as another important game for them to win. Nick Kingham will get the ball tonight, and the rookie trying to rebound after a tough one his last time around.
Yeah, he got knocked around a little bit, but the 2 starts before that, Joe, he was very, very good. So what does the future hold for Nick Kingham? We'll find out probably after tonight whether he goes to Indianapolis, or he could be a guy that's very valuable in a Pirate bullpen, which is already very good, perhaps as a long man. So we'll see how that plays out. But the deal for him tonight is to beat these Cubs. The Pirates have a chance for a sweep.
And the Cubs are celebrating a starting pitcher arrival of their own. Cole Hamels makes his Cubs debut tonight.
Yeah, and what are they going to get from Cole Hamels? You know, sometimes when you change teams, you don't know what you're getting. Maybe he doesn't know, but you know one thing, he is a winner. He has won a lot of Major League games. He's been in the World Series, some All-Star games, so he is certainly capable. The Pirates might be getting him at the right time. Last 22 innings he's pitched, he's given up 25 earned runs, so the timing might be right for the Bucks.
And we'll see if the Pirates can make it 2 in a row against Chicago. One of the hottest bats in baseball, Gregory Polanco, for one of the hottest teams, Pirates and Cubs, coming up next here on AT&T Sportsnet. Hey, those two know each other very well. And the 2 All-Stars for the Rays last year now with the Buccos is Archer going to make his debut on Friday tonight. His first day meeting his new teammates.
That'll be quite an evening after the off day tomorrow. So, he is here. And let's hope it goes well. We're all rooting for him.
So are the Pirates, who hope to get a lift from his right arm this season. Archer, very much the genuine article, too. Really a nice press conference today, meeting with reporters, signing autographs for kids as he pulled up to the ballpark today. What, someone's ahead of the game there? Wow, look at that. Already number 24 jersey of Chris Archer. And doing some goodwill as he arrives here. That's probably the first one.
Of many.
Had a big game tonight, too, as the Pirates look to make it 2 against the Cubs. Pirates could be 5 games out if they can win it tonight.
Well, see, that's the big thing about winning last night. That what made it so important. Now they got a chance to really do some damage. And
against Nick Kingham tonight, the Cubs lineup with Rizzo back atop the order, Zobrist and Hayward, just like it was last night. Javier Baez leads the National League in RBIs, and he's done well against the Pirates this season. Ian Happ bats 5th. Kyle Schwarber back in the lineup. He's in left with Contreras. Hamill's the pitcher, and then Addison Russell batting 9th.
Nick Kingham will make start number 12. 5-5, 4.80 ERA, and as we said, a tough outing last time, but the Pirates are not going to forget his name no matter what happens, because he has done some very good work, has had some good outings, and you know, they're very much aware of what he's capable of. So you're not seeing the last of Nick Kingham by any means.
And the defense behind him tonight, brought to you by Honda. David Freese gets another start against the Cubs lefty. Mercer and Rodriguez in the middle with Osuna across the diamond. Luplo, Marte, and Polanco in the outfield. There's Gregory, red hot with the bat too, and Francisco Cervelli. Back-to-back games behind the plate for the Pirates. Another off day tomorrow. Yeah,
be interesting too to see who wins Player of the Month, Freese or Polanco.
Or Corey Dickerson, right? I mean, we forget about him.
Candidates. Yeah, candidates.
I'll reveal my vote. I just voted for Dickerson. Led the league in OPS for the month, but you could have so many different candidates because there's so many guys that perform so well for the Pirates, offensively and on the mound in the month of July.
Now we saw Jameson Taillon go way inside consistently against Rizzo last night. To the degree he hit him with a pitch. So we'll see what Nick tries to do. First couple of deliveries away from Rizzo. Looks like that might be the plan. Now he crowds the plate so much that he protects that outside part of the plate. So outside good strikes, sometimes hittable. There's part of the staff right there, part of the rotation.
Taillon got the win last night in that narrow victory. It was that call that was overturned late that in the 9th inning that helped the Pirates prevail, but a good start from Taillon, the 3-run home run by Baez, but back-to-back 2-out doubles by Freese. More clutch hitting from him. There's a different contributor every night, and usually it's 4 or 5, which is why the Pirates have won 16-20. And Russell thought he had himself a triple last night. That was a big play.
Bad base running. Don't make that first out at third base.
Count stays full, and tonight's home plate umpire Chris Guccione with Ramon DeJesus at first. Ed Hickox over at second base tonight. Jerry Meals is the crew chief at third. Still full on the leadoff man. And Rizzo draws the walk. That's how this one starts. And the way it ended last night
for the Cubs.
Yeah. This is going to be trouble with Bodie, the leadoff man, reaching on a hit, driving him in. That was to be the tying run at third with nobody out, but instead not staying on the base. Freese kept the tag on a good relay throw by Josh Harrison. And the call overturned on a crew chief review. Russell was out, and so were the Cubs.
Russell didn't stay with the play, but Freese did.
Now I got to do it again. Zobrist toward the wall. And Rizzo will get to third. The Cubs have 2 in scoring position with nobody out.
Well, you hate to walk a leadoff man and all of a sudden, second and third, nobody out. You know, up and in, but Zobrist was able to get the body out of the way and hook that ball.
Look how he got his hands in on that. Wow.
And the bounce, the favorable bounce off the wall for the Cubs makes it comfortable.
Well, Zobrist has been red hot his last 10 games, hitting over 500. Two in scoring position with nobody out. Cubs trying to strike first tonight. Jason Hayward has been among the better hitters on this team, driving in runners in scoring position. .277 overall.
And this is a Cubs team that leads in so many categories as a team. Not only team batting average, but a bunch of categories, including runs scored. So you don't want to let them get on a run, and they are set up to do business here in the first.
There they are. Chris Archer there with other men in the rotation. Chad Kuhl, Trevor Williams. Kingham behind again. 3 balls and a strike. Those guys all talk, and Archer fits right in. He was talking about it today. He's and some of his former teammates talking about how he will talk about the game. He will talk about what he knows, what he's been taught. Corey Dickerson was telling me a lot about that today. In fact, that they were teammates with the Rays. Just how he influences other guys. Not in a demanding way, but just trying to help his teammates. So try to be more of a positive influence other than just what he can do on the mound. So Hayward bounces out, but he drives in the game's first run. That also moves up Zobrist to third, who can score with 1 out. So the leadoff walk comes around. So Zobrist there with 1 out. Here in the first inning, they're back for Baez.
This might be the hottest bat in the big leagues.
82 RBIs. That's tops in the league. You ever think Baez was going to hit 300 when he first started with all those wild swings?
No, no.
He has really come on. Just shows you, a young player can mature and adjust. He's been decent with runners in scoring position.
He is on fire right now. Good to get Hayward out. Just get an out here, so you can say you've got something done. Even if you give up the second run, maybe you can keep the damage to a minimum. Or maybe you can get a strikeout. He is very much a strikeout candidate. Talking about the wild swings that he used to live with.
Yeah, he struck out 100 times already. So yeah, it's not like that's dramatically cut down. He's just been more productive overall. Finally, a pitcher's count for Kingham. Zobrist at third with 1 out.
Close. Got him to chase, but got a piece.
First look at our Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
Tempting with a high fastball. Now if they go back downstairs, breaking ball in the dirt, of course you have to be aware. Pirates have thrown a bunch of wild pitches, so Cervelli has to be on alert.
Yeah, good call there. Kept it in front of him.
Kind of textbook stuff. You try to go hard high and curveball low. because of this work. Runner remains at third base.
That's Zobrist who reached on the double. Already 20 pitches here in the first inning for Kingham. He's had some tough first innings and then been able to rebound in a few of his starts this year.
Well, you wonder what kind of an approach Clint Hurdle has on this game in terms of the starter. Close, but a miss, and the count goes full. Talking in terms of an off day tomorrow, critical game, you might want to just throw everything but the kitchen sink if Nick struggles early on. We'll see how it plays out.
Pirates are playing with a 6-man bullpen tonight, with Archer added to the roster. They have the long man Alex McRae, who has not pitched in the major leagues, along with Brault for length. And then their standard guys that they use, the 4 they usually use with a lead.
That is a good bullpen. It could get better with
Kella tomorrow.
Yep.
He's supposed to join the ball club, and of course an off day.
Well, we talk so often about putting a lid on an at bat, and so far Nick has not been able to do it, and Baez has been doing a good job extending it.
Already 9 pitches. But hey, that, if it ends up being, hey, I can get this guy out and get that second out with the man at third, that'll be worth the wait. As we saw yesterday, he can make it 3-0 just like that. Instead, a weak ground ball. Still will get the run home, and he'll reach. And that juggle by Rodriguez.
You cannot make mistakes against good ball clubs like the Cubs. You can't do it. They capitalize.
It'll be an error on Rodriguez, but credit a run batted in to Baez.
Comes off the side of the glove and then loses the handle, gets it back, but give credit to Baez. He was hustling down the line. There he goes. He's working. It doesn't cost the Cubs an out.
6th error for Rodriguez. In there at second base tonight, Josh Harrison. Clint Hurdle saying that with coming off the hamstring concern, just wanted to get him some added rest. Ooh, Baez late dancing there.
Yeah, you got to keep track of him. He has 19 steals. Happ is a double play candidate, but don't forget about Baez.
Oop.
Baez got to make sure he doesn't forget about Kingham. Talk about a strikeout candidate too. Happ has struck out 112 times.
Among the leaders. Switch hitter with a dozen home runs. We'll have a big cheering section, of course, here tonight. Mount Lebanon product. Second season now with Chicago.
We're going to be honing in on 30 pitches here in the first inning. This will be number 28 coming up.
I like what you said about that double play ball. Can you order one up, please?
I'd like one right now. Actually, I'd like the strikeout. I'll take the strikeout. Although you're right, the double play would be better. I just like strikeouts.
Yeah, no. It's been a battle. A lot of foul balls in the inning.
Putting lids on at bats, finishing them off. Not that he's not trying. He's out there working. Baez off on the move.
And I think Cervelli got hit on the backswing there. His helmet is crooked. And not taking any chances. Brian Housen, the head athletic trainer, is out. Cervelli has battled through concussion symptoms on and off since early June. Has had a couple of stints on the disabled list, and they don't want to take anything for granted. Just checking in on Cervelli. Elias Diaz has had to play a lot.
Right on the bat. Top of the helmet.
Another jarring hit.
Gucci only trying to get out of the way. And Baez was off for the last pitch. He was running.
The Cubs have fouled off 12 in this inning. Trying to put away a hitter.
That was a good job by Kingham there. Didn't get the pitch the way he wanted to, but at least he came set and held the set position long enough to maybe disrupt the timing of Baez if he wanted to go, perhaps.
He's running again. And a hit with a pitch. Well, this is a messy start for the rookie Kingham. Had an error behind him, a walk, a hit batter. Only one hit so far. And Ray Searage has to come out.
And Clint Hurdle on the phone. Cutter, slider, gets the elbow. Might have got a piece of the umpire also.
Give up a couple in the first, you can live with that, but I mean, the way this thing's headed, like you pointed out, Steve, I mean, the Cubs are the highest scoring team in the league. This is.
Yeah, you can't fool around with them.
And Kingham in that last start never seemed to really get going. And in his other starts, usually you can tell pretty quickly, you know, by that third, fourth batter if he's going to be sharp as Brault starts to get up.
Yeah, kind of expecting this. There's nothing to hold many people back from with the good starting, Taillon, and the off day tomorrow.
Now Schwarber.
And he's dangerous with his 19 home runs. A whole lot of power.
Baez was hung out to dry, and he's going to score on that throwing error.
Yeah, this is as ugly as it gets. And the Pirates are hearing it from their fans right now. This is just a bad start.
Yeah, and another error from Kingham. That's something that we've seen now. That's his fourth error this season. That's tied for the most in baseball.
Just had him absolutely caught.
It was a bad decision to run, and the Cubs benefit. Now the Pirates will play the infield in. Happ at third with one out. Only one hit in the inning.
But a hit batter, a walk, and 2 errors. Just unforced errors.
And Baez was running right into an out.
And, there's a very short leash right now. Very short.
Baez scoring. And behind again on a 3-ball count.
I would guess that Kingham has to record an out here. He's out of the ball game.
Well, the way that his pitch count's going, they may not let him go much more than 40 pitches in an inning, especially with a young pitcher. That will roll toward first, and it's late. And another run across for Chicago.
You have nights where everything's working, and you have nights and innings where nothing's working. This is a performance in the latter category.
That's a base hit.
A good stop, but it rolls into no man's land.
And the feet first slide at first. Schwarber gets a single and an RBI. It's the second hit of the inning. 4-0 Cubs here.
And you know, Joe, that could very easily have been called an error also, because you got to the ball, you don't have a fast runner.
Yeah, I think the fact that he was able to range to get it, I think he got a little credit, but you're right. I mean, that was.
It was a good stop. I mean,
Sean would tell you he would have, once he had that in his glove, he should have made the play. For sure. Well, hopefully it's just one rough inning, but it's tough. Well, maybe not. I mean, you pointed out about Hamill, Steve, that you know, he has not been pitching well with Texas lately. Freeze rounds it. That one goes the Cubs' way. Another infield hit.
And the Pirates, they want to check that and see if they want to challenge. Clint Hurdle is signaling to the home plate umpire. We might want to take a look at this.
Let's look on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. I had something there. I don't know. Yep. You have to be sure, and I don't think that's. I think that would go the Pirates' way. Very close, but Contreras runs pretty well, even though a catcher. He's young. So Hamels gets the bat before he gets the pitch as a Cub. The number 8 hitter. Oh no. That's foul.
That's the best thing that's happened to him to Pirates this inning. The ball going foul. One of those innings, and it's still one out.
172 career hitter, of course, did not bat regularly well with Texas. That is the second out. Well, you know, Kingham, the rookie, sees the writing on the wall with Archer coming. Kingham has been the guy that has come up. You know, this is his 4th stint with the Pirates. Doesn't necessarily mean that Archer takes his spot, but you know, all signs would point to that. He's got to be feeling the pressure tonight to perform. And
yeah, regardless of what's going to happen from this point on, you want to go out and try to win your ball game.
.45 pitch inning for the rookie right-hander. This is one of the longer ones in recent years. That'll twist foul.
We were concerned about a 20-pitch inning, then a 30-pitch inning, then a 40-pitch inning, and he's closing in on 50.
I believe Nova had a 51 pitch first inning not long ago. And that is highly unusual when you start getting past 40, especially for Nova. Ahead 1-2. Oh my.
What is going on?
That breaking ball didn't break. There goes a wild pitch. You almost never see a mid-batter pitching change, but you almost think that
you almost
that's
got a
the
foul
time.
ball out of that without the bat being moved.
Let's see if Kingham can make a big pitch right here. Keep it at 4. We got 2 in scoring position. I mean, I think just from a stamina standpoint, right? I mean, did you ever have an inning like where you
yeah, I know what he's going through right now. Toward the end, when I was trying to find some answers, I had these kind of innings, and you just don't want to quit. You just want to keep working to find it. It is painful.
It's full.
You're not going to get any gifts here with any calls too. This is just it's one of those difficult things for me to watch personally, because I went through this a bunch of times, and it's so tough. You're out there and nothing happens until you turn it loose, until you throw it, and you're just hoping, and instead of expecting, you're hoping, and that's not the way to perform in the big leagues. I can't guarantee that's how he's feeling, but it's in that neighborhood.
And he's had plenty of success in his short time in the major leagues.
Yeah, before the last start, I mean, he had 2 really good starts. I mean, really good starts.
Yeah. But when you're out there right now, I bet you it's difficult to remember that.
You're naked.
Yeah.
You're just out there and completely exposed.
Pops him up. You know Cervelli wants to make this play. He'll get the final out. A 51 pitch first inning for Nick Kingham. Cubs strand 2 in scoring position, and with Chris Archer here in town, the Pirates have planned a welcome here at PNC Park for him, and we wanted to show you that for those of you not at the ballpark tonight. So let's take a look here and see it.
And cutting the miss on the fastball. Slider swung on and missed, strike 3. He got a big strikeout. Strikeout number 10 for Archer. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
And a warm Pittsburgh welcome for Chris Archer. He'll make his debut on Friday night here. He'll take the ball against the Cardinals, and nice to see all the folks here welcoming the newest Pirate.
Number 24.
And hoping that his first game in black and gold becomes one of the better turnarounds this season for the Pirates. Well, it's going to first need some bats to go. The RAV4 lineup for the Buccos tonight. Jordan Luplow back atop the order with Marte and Polanco 2 and 3. David Freese will clean up against the left-hander. Cervelli moves up to 5th with Osuna batting 6th. Sean Rodriguez, the 7-hitter. Jordy Mercer done well against lefties this year, hitting 8th in front of Nick Kingham.
And what will the Cubs get out of the veteran left-hander Cole Hamels? 5-9, 4.72 ERA. The ERA was good until the last 5 starts, and then he has just really struggled. He's had 10 career starts against the Pirates. He's 3-3 against the Bucks with an ERA under 3. As Nick Kingham takes a breather.
And look at Nova right over there to counsel him.
First pitch is a success for Hamels.
And Nova's like I mentioned, he's had an inning like that. If I recall, I think he ended up going 4 or 5 innings that day, which doesn't sound like much, but you know, if you can rebound and just keep it where it's at.
So angry, but you'll appreciate that pat on the back when you stop to think about things. It's just hard to. It's hard to really think about anything for him. But Nova did the right thing right there as a teammate.
Everyone's been there at some point or another.
Yep. They said Nova had a 51 pitch performance. That's the thing about baseball. You know, there's no pulling guard, there's no moving pick. It's individual matchups. That ground ball against the shortstop, that fastball against the hitter. I mean, it's all you're right there. Individual matchups.
Like you said, you're on an island.
Yep.
And he's safe. Threw him off the bag.
Maybe one of those nights. Got to be E6, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that throw on target would beat Luplow. Let's see. Russell.
What, did Rizzo just step off the bag? Maybe thinking.
Let's see.
Maybe the throw is in toward home plate enough where if he reaches in, he's asking for physical issues.
It'll be the 13th error on Addison Russell. And just like that, Marte with a base hit. Now this would be a nice little response. Pirates get 1 or 2 back, right?
Oh, indeed.
Well, like you said, Steve, Hamels wasn't exactly pitching his best baseball in Texas prior to the trade.
No, 22 innings. His last 22 innings, yielding 25 earned runs. I mean, that's an ERA of over 10. Over 10.
He's also been prone to the home run ball this year too. So
23, which is 4th most in the American League. Good point.
So has Polanco. He's been prone to the home run ball.
Yes, he has. I mean, you run in for one right now, and you've changed this whole thing around as a game and as a fan base. You just turn the fans quite around because they're not happy right now. And Polanco gives a little bit of a look to Hamels.
He has been one of the best in the league over really an almost 2-month span now. That home run he hit yesterday was in on his hands and able to turn on it, keep it fair. Really able to do so much now at the plate. Just that one adjustment.
Well, I'll tell you, he was sitting flat on 200 even not too long ago.
There was a 1 up there for an at bat or 2.
Yep. Right.
And it's over 250 now. That he's come a long way. Hamels battles back to get ahead.
And, Hamels making a little statement with that first pitch. He did not hit one batter with the Rangers, even though he's getting knocked around. But he let Polanco know that he's out there on the first pitch, and then a couple strikes.
Proving that June was no fluke. Backed it up in July too.
The last time I saw Hamels pitch in person, we were on an interleague trip to Texas several years, a lot of years ago if I travel. And I didn't think he fared too well in that one. It's been so long ago. Been a while since I've seen him as a National Leaguer.
It was traded midway through the 15 season. Comes back to Fan Polanco. That's the first out here in the Pirates first.
And that's what veterans do. That's a huge out for him.
Little changeup.
Yep. Way out in front. That's the big one-handed finish, and Contreras gets out of the way of getting knocked with a backswing, follow-through swing. By the way, in that 15 season you're talking about, Cole Hamels had a no-hitter against the Chicago Cubs.
Well, if you can beat him, join him.
Yeah, I was going to. That might have promoted some interest.
Back on July 25th, first pitcher to have a no-hitter, and then get moved. never pitch again for that team. And Bert Blyleven did that right before he joined the Pirates. He had thrown a no-hitter in the final start with Texas.
And then you're gone.
And then the offseason moved to the Pirates.
Yeah. Not immediately, but eventually you're gone.
In the Hamels case, it was just a few days later. David Freese been swinging a hot bat for a good while now.
Good to see the veteran. He's just such a good pro, and right, he's had his younger years behind him, but he's still getting it done. He's still getting it done. In a lot of ways, it doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. If you're getting it done, you're getting it done. Simple as that.
We were talking about the Player of the Month voting, and you mentioned his name, and he's not an everyday player. That shows you the kind of contribution he's made to the Pirates.
Yeah, just half kiddingly, not totally kidding.
He's up there with the numbers, yeah.
He wasn't happy with that curveball call, but it was a strike.
2 on with 1 out. Very rarely are you going to see Freese chase.
Yeah, we've seen him in some really difficult, demanding situations have really good extended at bats and draw free passes.
Hitting better than 300 with runners in scoring position. Luplow, the lead runner, ahead of Marte, who runs very well.
It's interesting to see what he does continually. Talking about Freese going to right field and right center. The Cubs last night pointing a little bit to pull, but they're pretty much straight away. Maybe a step toward right center now in the outfield.
Yeah, that double doesn't fall in, I don't think, if they hadn't played this way.
He's extending another at bat.
And Ian Happ out there in center tonight. He's shaded over toward right center. They learned their lesson last night. Hamels comes back to strike out Freese. So 2 on now with 2 outs. Hamels in his Cubs debut. Jason Hayward, the 4-time reigning Gold Glover, out there in right with Schwarber across in left. Baez filling in for the injured Chris Bryant at third. Russell, Zobrist, and Rizzo around the horn with him. And Wilson Contreras, the all-star starting catcher for the Cubs. Cervelli came through. 2-out hit last night, that home run. Boy, earlier this year, that was his MO, wasn't it?
Yes.
That 2-out RBI.
Yep. Coming through time after time.
Making something out of nothing every time. And a very inspiring and energetic post-game interview with Robbie and Smikowski last night.
Yeah, referring to family on a night we commemorated Willie Stargell's induction into the Hall of Fame. So it was all about that. We are family. It all fit. Hamels throwing a couple of absolute perfectos to Francisco to start the at bat. There you see him. Down and away. Perfect pitches.
Able to spoil it.
Boy, that was a fat pitch right there. That was a juicy pitch. He couldn't catch up to it. All right, we're going to just hook this one down into the corner over the fence. We don't need to get a lot of distance. Just maybe like 328 feet.
That was with 2 outs in the third inning. The Pirates had just scored with 2 outs. The first run of the game. That made it a 3-0 affair. Pirates won by a single tally, and so that ended up being quite the difference maker.
Well, we've had an interesting first inning as Hamels gets ready to throw his 22nd pitch.
Yeah, it hasn't been smooth sailing for him either after the error to start the inning. Kingham getting a bit of a rest after that 51 pitch first.
Kind of an extended rest.
Yeah, that's about as important as anything.
Yeah, we were in the 4th inning by this time last night. Let's wait a little longer as they want to talk it over.
This is one of the reasons why we have a limit on mound visits. Wilson Contreras. That counted as one and didn't really mean much. He's one of the more apt to visit the mound back before the limits.
Well, after 0-2, we go to 2-2 now. Well, that 3rd pitch is the one that Francisco would like to have back.
Oof. We just don't see that low strike get called much anymore.
And that was eligible to be called.
Yeah, not just on that pitch, not just Chris Guccione, but really all throughout baseball this year. We've seen so many of those not called strikes.
Hamels hates this National League strike zone.
Send me back. Runners go on 3-2, and it's through. Ruplo is in. Marte will be held. A 2-out RBI single by Cervelli, and the Pirates get one back.
What a great at bat for Francisco. He said he fell behind quickly, 0-2 on 2 perfect pitches, and worked it and worked it and worked it. And Hamels was not able to put the lid on this out as he goes out and just hits it back through the middle, and we're on the board. That's a quiet statement, but a statement nonetheless.
Well, both teams committing errors in this first inning that lead to runs. And now Jose Osuna with a 2-out opportunity. Starling Marte singled. He's now moved to 3rd after the Cervelli base hit.
And you talked about the 23 home runs in 20 starts.
Gets a strike call on that.
Well, maybe the ledger is going to be even that way tonight.
Yeah, Osuna plenty of power against left-handed pitching. Saw that on display throughout last season. Not enough steam on it. That one is true. And the Pirates are through, but they pick up a run in an eventful first.
Well, Chris Archer had his first meeting with the Pittsburgh media a couple hours ago, and he discussed his excitement in wearing a Pirates uniform.
I'm stoked. It's been a while since I've played winning, meaningful baseball, and that's why you play, to win. You know, there's different phases. You become a big leaguer and you're content, and then you have a little success. And I'm in the phase where I want to win, and I think that I'm in the right environment to do that. And the commitment from the ownership and the front office is definitely there.
And you know the commitment's going to be there from Chris Archer's end. And guys, anybody that wants to get a chance to see Chris Archer, his first start is coming Friday when the St. Louis Cardinals come to town. I think there's going to be quite a bit of excitement, guys, on the North Shore for that one.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Robbie. Thank you for giving us a little bit on Archer as we get to know him a little bit. Really impressed as Stephen Brault will relieve Nick Kingham after an inning tonight.
Yeah. 4 runs, 2 of which were earned, 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout.
So Kingham in a 51 pitch first inning, the shortest start for the Pirates in a little more than 3 years.
Yeah, please don't go way back.
No, that's as far as I need to go.
Good.
Out toward the notch. Time for Luplow to get underneath it. And this is in the tunnel today as Chris Archer arriving, and the Point Park social media. Our on-field host here at PNC Park, Joe Klimchek, sending this out that getting ready to take the field and meeting some of the younger fans who happen to be passing through. Hey, I got to meet Chris Archer today. He's fun. He's fun to be around, and you know, talking with his former teammates at Tampa Bay, Sean Rodriguez, Corey Dickerson, Josh Harrison played with him in the Cubs minor league system years ago. And they were teammates of the World Baseball Classic with the U.S. team last year in 17. So to a man, all raving about not only the pitcher that Archer is, but the kind of guy. And he will be, as Dickerson put it, he said he's already a leader in this clubhouse. I mean, today he just got here a few hours ago. And that's the kind of person and personality that Dickerson knows Archer to be. He says he's one of his closest friends, he knows his entire family. Sean Rodriguez said that Chris Archer is his mom's favorite player. And then he stopped himself and said, well, wait a minute, well, maybe it's me. Well, maybe it's, I think it is, yes, I think it's me, but then it's him. I hope it's me. That's what people say about Chris Archer. So really looking forward to getting to know him, watching him pitch. And the guys that played with him at Tampa Bay are more than excited, and so are the guys that haven't played with him. That'll sneak through, and Zobrist continuing a torrid stretch. And so Archer will make his Pirates debut on Friday. It's also a free shirt Friday when the Pirates host the Cardinals at 7:05, and the first 20,000 fans will get a free Jameson Tyone t-shirt presented by Peoples. And it's a $1 dog night presented by Sugardale. Go to pirates.com/free shirt Friday. There's Jameson Tyone, got the win last night, and a nice job modeling too. Hayward skies that into the lower seats.
He moves up in the batting order with Bryant out. They configure things.
He's had a better year at the plate. Still not the kind of numbers you'd see as a number 3 hitter on a first place club, but certainly improved. He's moved way off the plate. We talk about, you know, Polanco's adjustment moving off the plate. He moved a couple inches. I mean, Hayward has that front foot almost to the very back of the batter's box. You can see that on his front foot.
That'll swing in.
Nice souvenir.
You would think a guy that moves in toward the plate at the last moment, you look at him set up, it looks like you pitch him outside, but as he moves in, you can still come inside because he's moving out away. You can still come in and tie him up.
Right down the line. Zobrist will be able to get to third, and Hayward into second. That's a double, and the Cubs right back in business again.
What are you going to do with Baez now? Are you going to pitch to him? Well, they come in and he just slices the ball. That's just a piece of good hitting as he keeps the hands in and just kind of slice and dice down the left field line.
Now you're going to play lefty hitter off the line like that. Well, you called it, Steve. They're going to bypass Baez. Trying to go for a double play ball. Ian Happ.
You got to do something to stop the bleeding here.
He was hit in the elbow with the pitch. Ooh, well, he stops it.
Saves a run. See, that ball looks like it's going to keep going to the right of your screen, and then it kind of held, almost went back the other way. That's the challenge for a catcher when the ball gets down in the dirt. What's the spin going to do? Is it going to hit a divot in the batter's box? Sometimes you get a little hole dug. And now we got issues.
I got nowhere to put him.
Yeah, and this is just I don't know what he's going to do with it, but this is just what a hitter's delight. Bases loaded. He's got to throw a strike. You figure it's going to be a fastball. It was, and it missed.
Brault leads the team in walks. Even working out of the Pirates' pen predominantly this season. It's Schwarber next.
Would they give him a green light here?
And a 4-pitch walk right after the intentional walk. Happ gets a run batted in. 2 errors in the first inning and a walk, and now a walk driving in a run here.
Cervelli out to talk. Brault telling him we can't do anything to help you unless you throw some strikes, put the ball in play. Let's see if we can make some plays behind you.
Now, Brault has walked 5.8 batters per 9 innings this season. Want it to be about half that total.
If you could get a ground ball here, it would be enormous.
Not even very close to the strike zone right now.
The problem is you're still trying to make pitches, but it's not happening. So you got to come in the strike zone, put the ball in play, and hope for the best for your defense.
I was talking with Brault yesterday. You know, he hasn't pitched in a game in 8 days. He only pitched 1 inning 8 days ago. And I said, you know, from going to being a starter to a reliever really for the first time in your career, how do you stay sharp? He goes, yeah, I throw bullpens after games sometimes, but it's very difficult. And you know, for a young pitcher, I mean, that's the role he's in. You know, he knows that. He's not complaining, but he's just saying that is for a guy who does not have impeccable command to begin with. It has made it very difficult for him to maintain his sharpness.
That's a wonderful thing, that pop up right there. You can get out of this with 1 run.
Yeah, Brault has thrown 3 innings since the All-Star break.
Well, I would guess that Clint Hurdle wants a lot out of him tonight in terms of innings.
He'll get his work now tonight with Kingham going in inning. And even though that ticked the strike zone, it wasn't where Cervelli was set up.
Well, and if you're wild, you're not going to get calls.
Right.
Close calls.
Contreras with 2 career grand slams. First pitch of his career. Homered off A.J. Schugel.
With the bases loaded, was that one?
I can't remember if just.
That's enough in itself.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was.
I didn't know if that was connected to the grand slam.
Yeah, I thought it was, and then I looked and it didn't say that in my notes. So I remember him hitting it. Just couldn't remember who was on. He's dangerous too. This Cubs lineup doesn't have a lot of holes in it. And they have taken advantage of some Pirates mistakes here early. 95, but outside. Two errors, one by Rodriguez, one by Kingham in that first inning. Here, 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 intentional. And in danger of walking in another run.
Now, if you're writing a script, you got to tell them, you got to take your chances, throw it down the middle, hope you get a defensive play, because you cannot try to make a perfect pitch here. Sounds weird, but that's where we are.
And displeased with his inability to throw strikes right now. He's walked in 2. Steve, I know he's trying to throw a strike. He's just not been able to get it there. And what are you going to do?
Yeah. You got to aim for the middle of the strike zone.
He's in there for the long haul. I mean, Pirates have a 6-man bullpen tonight. Got Alex McRae, who's never pitched in the major leagues. That is a fair ball. Going to force right there. Cubs send up 8 in the second. And they lead 6-1.
Bordas and Bordas, fighting for justice. Let's go Bucks!
Bucks bats need to get going here in the second, down 5 to the Cubs. Cub fans didn't have enough to hoot and holler about. The never had a lead last night. They had an early one here tonight. Those couple of errors, a couple of bases loaded walks now, and a little charity going their way.
Maybe we can get ourselves into a barn burner.
Pirates did play
Maybe
one
it's already
in the first.
burning. Let's get involved.
Sean Rodriguez begins the Pirates' second.
Hamill's probably a little frustrated. That was a pitch that could be called a strike.
Contreras just didn't catch it.
Yeah, that didn't help the call. All right.
Can still be a strike. It just harder to frame up for the umpire.
Yeah, ball's heading back to the backstop. It's tough to call him strikes many times. Early good-looking curveball from Cole Hamels. Whole lot of spin.
Making his Cubs debut tonight. Cubs still have Yu Darvish on the shelf. Third strikeout for Hamels. The addition of Hamels moved Tyler Chatwood out of the rotation, and Chatwood, who was signed to a 3-year free agent deal in the offseason, one of the highest walk rates, really the highest walk rate for anyone that's pitched that much in more than 30 years in baseball. So pitched his way out of the rotation. They needed help. Went and got Hamels.
Who continues to average a strikeout an inning or so. Came into this game 114 innings pitched, 114 strikeouts.
That's some good math.
About as much as I can handle.
All those years with Philadelphia, has had success against the Pirates historically. Different group for the most part, though Mercer has seen him a little bit. Three and one on Jordy.
No surprise that you see Stephen Brault in the on-deck circle.
Assuming the pitching duties after Kingham win an inning through 51 pitches. Brault can handle the bat all right. Three for 15 for Stephen. Usually a sacrifice situation here with one out.
Baez creeping in now.
Brault was a two-way player in college at Regis University in Denver.
Takes a swing. You got Baez crashing on him, and you've got Rizzo coming on in. Sometimes not a bad idea to bunt the ball back toward the pitcher. He's got to finish a follow through. He's probably the worst fielder of the three. Here they come. You see Hamels is still on the dirt part, so sometimes it's not a bad plan when they're just crushing you like that, just pressing you that much.
Sometimes I've seen the slug bunt, right, where you kind of maybe slide the hand up a little bit and
chop a little bit,
try to drive it past one of those guys crashing in. It gets past them, you're safe.
Yep. Take some of their teeth out, maybe. In there on top of you.
That will also get them to play back next time.
Yes.
Gets away from Contreras.
And he wants to throw it away. Unnecessary.
He loves to throw.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is a. This is not a videotape of this game. It's going to go to Cooperstown.
Nope. This is not an instant classic so far. Until the Pirates come back.
This is like a springboard coming
yeah.
out of there. Like wild stuff tonight so far.
Mercer in scoring position with 1 out.
Well, if we can get a free pass now, then you got something going on. Don't help him, Stephen.
The lineup order over for Luplow next. And brought down on strikes. 4th strikeout for Hamels.
Chase ball 4.
Sunday, the Pirates and the Cardinals will take on one another at 1:35. Kids 14 and younger receive Topps baseball cards. And every Sunday has the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone out on Federal Street before the game and after the game. Kids can run the bases on the field thanks to Rivendell. Go to pirates.com/kidsdays. Some baseball cards. Mercer at second. Need a 2-out hit from Luplow, who reached on an error his first time. Did you ever collect baseball cards, Steve?
Oh, shoebox is full.
Yeah.
Rubber bands around each team. Absolutely. Had some good ones too. Had a very early Jackie Robinson, very early Mickey Mantle. Like every other mom in America, threw them away.
Now you grew up and no need for this anymore.
I would never put them on a bicycle wheel. They're not to be messed around. They're to be cherished in a box so somebody can throw them away. I had them all. And I love that gum that had the powder all over it. Kind of.
Yeah. Topps.
Yep.
Well, they do away with that. Maybe 91, I think, was the last year they had that.
I thought Syberger was the best man in America.
Ah, that's right. The old president of Topps.
Yep.
That was something else. That I got to tour their facility in New York a couple years ago. I was still a fan of baseball cards. Grew up with that. It was big when I was a kid too.
Yep.
I hope there's still a few kids that collect baseball cards out there. If not, maybe that'll get you into it with that giveaway. I don't think they put them on bicycle spokes much anymore. Yeah. Now they put them in inch thick plastic.
Oh yeah. I get probably 5 or 6 each week sent to get signed. Sign every one of them. Get some nice notes, really interesting notes along with them many times. Many times it's just, hey, would you please sign my card, which is fine. Sometimes you get a little story along with it. You know, hey, my dad used to watch you pitch, and all that kind of stuff. Big Pirate fan. I live in the Ukraine, but still follow the Pirates religiously.
Yeah, I bet you that's fun when you get.
Yeah.
See how global the game of baseball is. Slow down on strikes, so Hamels strikes out 3 in the inning. He is fanned 5, and the Cubs lead by 5.
Let's go, Bucks!
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, I thought that was really surprising to hear that the Rays wanted to start him right away. I mean, you know, we're in there at 3:30 yesterday afternoon when the rumors start floating around that Pirates might get Chris Archer and that Glasnow may be involved. And what, 28 hours later, he's in Tampa and starting something that he hasn't done this year.
Yep. Everybody wants that arm and that stuff to start eventually. Pirates getting a lot of chances to start, but that's the ultimate wish for a guy with that kind of talent. If you can get him straightened away, squared away. You want him pitching a lot of innings.
Yeah, we wish he and Austin Meadows all the success. They're good guys to chat with in their time with the Pirates. And Chris Archer buying a Steelers jersey at the airport. And he was saying today, he's telling us that his mom is a Steelers fan, even though she doesn't really have any ties to Pittsburgh. Certainly get attention. Wait. Isn't that the new guy that the Pirates got? Look at that. So everybody recognize him and his leg from Charlotte.
Let's see if we can put up a 0 here.
Cubs sent up 9 in the first, 8 in the second. They've collected 5 hits. Pirates have walked 4 and committed 2 errors. Chopped foul. Rizzo coming in red hot since moving into the leadoff role. Hitting .383 is the leadoff hitter, but right now he's 0 for 5 in the series so far. Brief 2-game series.
Didn't ever think I'd see him in the leadoff spot. Just didn't picture him there, but there he is.
Especially with Bryant out. And on his hands. Sorelli calls for it. Now look, the Cubs lead the league in runs scored, and I figure they got it all figured out. But you know, when you got one of your big run producers out, you wouldn't think the other one would be in the leadoff spot. Whatever works, right?
Yep.
Pitcher bats 8th in this lineup. Unconventional doesn't mean bad. It just means unconventional. Zobrist 2 for 2 already. Hitting .536 in his last 10 games.
Got it up to 305.
He just keeps on ticking, doesn't he?
He does. Yep, he can get it done.
37 years old.
Quick outs and now 3-0.
Brings him back with a strike.
Get that call. Walk number 4.
For Brault after one by Kingham. Well, the Pirates have seldom had games like this over a stretch where they've won 16 of their last 20. That opener against the Mets, where they lost 12-6. Yeah, that was a
12-6. Yeah,
a poorly played game. But you really, any of the other games in this, you know, they've lost a few of them, but no, they lost a game 1-0. They lost a game 4-0. There was 2-0 in the 9th in Cleveland. You know, the kind of games that they've lost, they've been close. The very few that they've lost. So.
That was close to the full moon, that Mets game.
Of course, no Bell, no Dickerson, both on the DL. Bell is not doing any baseball activity yet. I haven't seen Moran in this series with the two lefty starters.
So it's been a case of all hands on deck. Everybody's had to step up and get things done, and for the most part they've done that.
That one fouled off Guccione's mask, I believe.
Now they want to make sure the umpire's all right.
Oh boy.
Cervelli's holding on to him.
Here comes the crew chief, Jerry Meals. Ryan Housen, the Pirates head athletic trainer, is out there. Check on Guccione. Cervelli held on to him a long time. I mean,
he's unsteady.
Tenth-year umpire. Oh boy, yeah.
I'd be a little surprised if they let him continue.
Well, Brian Housen knows everything there is about concussions right now, and if there's any doubt, and we know these days you don't mess around with that.
Yep, you see him staggering,
Yeah.
and Francisco just holds him up. Right there, and watch those, see those steps backward. He was going down. And by the shirt.
Yeah, the umpires, it's not just catchers back there, the umpires too. A series of questions that Housen checking in on him.
Check his balance.
Well, there's a protocol that the players and umpires have to pass to be able to continue.
He's going to continue. Francisco gets an assist.
He knows all about what that feels like. Well, we've come a long way in understanding, and there's still a ways to go with concussions. But you know, no longer is it someone got their bell rung, and boy, you know, kind of a chuckle. We didn't know. We didn't know. Even 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. But
all three of those umpires you just saw have gone through this.
And Hayward does it again. Another ball just slapped down the line, ends up another double.
2 quick outs, a walk and a double. They're in business again.
Hayward against the lefty twice, just hitting it in the open part of the field.
Just protecting that outside part of the plate, just getting just the end of the bat on the ball, but the placement was perfect again.
In 1890, that would make you an all-star. Stuff like that.
We're going to pitch to Baez here.
Well, before I thought it was a no-brainer, but you know, then later in the inning there were 2 walks. Now it's a 5-run game. They are going to pitch to Baez, one of the more intimidating home run hitters and RBI men in the game going right now. 83 RBIs.
Walked him in almost an identical situation.
Yeah, the only difference was there was 1 out instead of 2. But yeah, it was 2nd and 3rd with the same runners.
It's 2-0. Will they finish this off, or the?
It's the call there. After the first one, maybe a tick closer. Wasn't ruled a strike.
This sounds funny, but this could be a very important out, because if they get a base hit, this ball game is heading out of control. If he gets him out, then it'll be a little different story. Now there's the wild swing that we used to see more of. Point being here for Steven is that he can try to make a perfect pitch, because if he does lose him, it doesn't really factor much. He goes down to first base, where I thought he was going to go earlier, but decided to pitch against him.
Pirates have surmounted a 5-run deficit as late as the 5th inning this season. So I'm with you, Steve. This early in the game, a 5-run deficit. Okay, not the easiest thing to crawl out of, but the Pirates are still in this game. It's the 3rd inning. But you start looking at 8-1 and beyond. Well, now you're starting to really flip through those history books to try to find the last time XYZ has happened. So pivotal here early.
Even now, Steven, you try to make a pitch. If you lose him, not a big deal.
The Pirates have thrown 100 pitches tonight. And Baez walks. 5 walks by Brault in an inning and 2/3. He's walked 46 in 68 innings this year.
Ray's going to come out. I'm not sure what he's going to tell him.
You've got to pitch.
Yeah,
Well, let's
check
see
on Guccione again.
Yeah.
And now Joey Meo's coming in. I think they're going to let him go. He's maybe arguing his case, but
If there's any doubt, there's no need to continue. I mean, Guccione, yep, he's going to. The home plate umpire always has the lineup card, so he's going to leave, and there'll be an umpire getting dressed to be the home plate umpire, and
a 3-man crew.
Yeah, we hope the best for Chris Guccione. Hopefully, it's just precautionary.
Might have been wondering about visual things, calling balls and strikes.
If
in that last
there's
at-bat.
any doubt, yeah, if there's any doubt, he'll get checked out, and we hope for the very best for him, as Ed Hickox will continue as the home plate umpire, and he'll get dressed, and we'll return in a moment.
In any form. and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
6-1 Chicago, and right now we're waiting for Ed Hickox to replace Chris Guccione as the home plate umpire. Guccione hit in the mask, and we take a look at what the Pirates have done over their past 20 games in our Rocket Mortgage breakdown. Best record in baseball over the last 20 games, best run differential, best ERA.
That's produced the wins. That's been part of this surge by the Pittsburgh Pirates. You know, Joe, last night we spent a lot of time talking about Willie Stargell, and you know, the 30th anniversary of his induction into the Hall of Fame, and you know, it was a brisk game, so he didn't get time to tell a lot of stories, but there are some great Willie stories that have been around. One of which used to take place every All-Star break. Willie would have all of us over to his house, and it was an annual thing. And back in the day, he would go to Sears or someplace and order a brand new rubber garbage can, rubber, fill it up with ice, and put every conceivable adult beverage you can find, fill it up with ice, and then 3 gallons of grape juice so you couldn't taste anything bad. And then he would stir it with one of his bats, you see. And when he took it out, the finish was gone off the bat. You could have sold that stuff for paint thinner at Home Depot. I mean, it was really good, really potent. So we used to do that. And there's Pops and so many things. But also Willie. I'm trying to think of the others. Oh, I want to remind people that Willie Stargell was a Pirate broadcaster. A lot of people don't remember that. In 1983, he and I and Bob Prince did cable games back in the early days of cable. But it was phenomenal because Willie was so popular. He would not come down to the press room to eat, so he would have sushi sent to him up in the booth. So he was up there eating bait while we were down with the burgers and the dogs and all that sort of stuff. But I think he enjoyed it. He just did it 1 year. But just remember coming up through the minor leagues with him all those years and watching him progress. And even we talked about it a little bit. We both went down to the Dominican League, Winter Ball League in Santiago, and the Pirates sent a lot of players down there for development. And he was so popular down there. The big swing, the big home runs, and all that sort of thing. But I knew him. He started in '59, and I got signed in 1960. So we would be out in the instructional league in Chandler, Arizona, when Chandler was just a crossroads. And so going back all those years and then getting reminded last night of this sort of thing, the statue being unveiled and the honors and just watching him progress, not only as a ball player, but a man with that voice and the presence that he had. You know, just imagine a Willie Stargell and a Roberto Clemente, the presence in the clubhouse. We talk about clubhouse presence. They didn't have to say a word. They did, but they really didn't have to talk a lot because when they would roam around, you saw, well, we were Pittsburgh Pirates, but you saw 2 giants. And it was just an honor to be on a team with him for all those years. We were such good friends. I had something to do with it. But we honored him at some banquet at the end of 1 year, and he had just set a Pirate strikeout record. So he got one of his bats and drilled a baseball-sized hole down at the end of it. But he was always good humor, in good humor. I'm sure he had his bad days. And even going down to his memorial golf tournament a couple times, people from the National Kidney Foundation would come in, and when it was toward the end, they would come in and see him, and he would insist on talking about the doctors and their families, you know, that sort of thing. And it just continued to be part of that legacy that Willie Stargell had and continues to have. Every time I go down Federal Street, I pat him on the butt, and there's a lot there to work with. And just always a good thought to have spent a lot of time with Willie Stargell. Number 8. It was raining a little bit when we got to the ballpark, and you could see the rain dripping off that number 8. And it was like some emotional tears at one time. We were talking about him dying the night before this ballpark opened, and just so many good things. Such a good Pirate, such a good man. And, it was great to revisit a lot of that stuff. It was a neat thing that Tyler Graham did to commemorate the acceptance speech and kind of fold a lot of us in it that knew him or knew about him. That was an absolute treat, and Tyler did a fabulous job with it, even to the point of going to Cooperstown to make sure it all was pieced together well. So a great night.
And if you didn't get to see it yesterday, why don't we see that right now? That's worth another look.
And a beautiful sunset.
Wilbur Dornell Stargell.
I can only start by saying you looking at one very proud individual.
This ball player here did not get to Cooperstown.
Without a network of family and very special friends.
Coaches, managers, teachers, you name it.
So I accept this award, which is the greatest award that's bestowed upon anyone who's ever played the game.
But I have to say, my greatest honor was the moment I arrived in Pittsburgh.
And put in what I thought was the most grandest exhibition of how a city can open its arms to any one individual.
I came in through the Fort Pitt tunnels, and it was the most beautiful thing that I had ever observed.
Pittsburgh didn't know an awful lot about me,
but I certainly knew an awful lot about Pittsburgh.
I knew there was a tradition.
A very proud tradition.
No era un lugar elegante porque la gente son reales.
If you went out and did what was expected of you,
you can win the admiration of that city.
And all that is hard work.
Doing what you had to do.
And helping our fellow men.
A winner expects to win in advance, long before it happens.
A winner has seen it,
had the vision,
and settle for nothing less.
These are the things that these managers, my teammates, the city of Pittsburgh has afforded me. That's why I say I am extremely proud.
I am living proof that hard work
earns just rewards.
There's just no shortcuts.
There are no substitutions. All I ever wanted to do once I got to Pittsburgh and put on the Pirate uniform and wore it very proudly.
Todo lo que yo quería era ganar.
And represent the city.
Well, it's good to revisit that from last night. Willie Stargell's Hall of Fame acceptance speech, at least most of it. After that delay, one pitch and the final out. And so Ed Hickok's assuming the role behind the plate now for Chris Guccione. The deadline day acquisition of the best starting pitcher on the market and another power arm in the bullpen. Plus, we dive into that rare 11-game win streak that has the Bucks back in contention. Those stories and our top plays debut Saturday, right after Pirates postgame. And what a gorgeous night here in Pittsburgh, and hopefully the site of a big turnaround as Ed Hickok's now back behind the plate. Jerry Meals will be the lead base umpire. Ramon De Jesus stays at first. So Meals will move between second and third base depending on situation. We see this a lot in spring training. A lot of times there's only 3 umpires. In the minor leagues I've worked with, you'd see 3 umpires all the time, and sometimes you'd see 2 umpires in the lower minor league. So
I pitched a game in spring training when I was 18 years old, and Pie Traynor was standing in back of me, and he was the only umpire. That's the truth. He said, "Come on, lad, pick up the pace." When Pie Traynor tells you to pick up the pace, you pick up the pace.
You pick up the pace. Cole Hamels sat a long time there with the delay. He's not exactly had sharp innings, but he's got himself a lead in his Cubs debut. Over the 50 pitch mark here to begin the 3rd. I think that clipped him.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the first batter he's hit all season. Looking at his numbers on there.
He's actually led baseball with 12 hit batters with Texas. I think you're looking at the Cubs line right beneath.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was looking at Hancock's. 12 hit batters. Yep.
Let's see if it nicked that elbow guard. Yep. Click, click.
Yep. Double hit.
Look on our Allegheny Health Network Super Mode. I mean, it just if it grazed it, it just grazed it. But that
sounded better than it looked.
Yeah.
For the Pirates. Gregory trying to get us a couple points with one swing.
Marte down 5 runs is out.
Well, it's been that kind of night so far for the Pirates.
Pirates down 5 runs here in the 3rd inning. Need base runners. It's a costly out.
Tried to guess. He did guess. Guessed wrong.
Eighth time caught stealing.
Starling in there trying to explain why that happened.
But now 2 outs and nobody aboard. Well, Polanco has been awarded first base.
This is weird.
I'm wondering if it was catcher's interference.
Yep.
Has to be. That'll be an error on Contreras. See,
yep. You see the glove move?
Ticked his catcher's glove.
As Jerry Garcia would say, what a long, strange trip this has been tonight so far.
So instead of 2 on and nobody out, 1 on with 1 out. E2 on Contreras. Both teams have committed 2 errors tonight. Freeze can make this a closer affair. It's only the 3rd inning, even though this Game has progressed very slowly tonight. That's the advantage of baseball. It's not by time, but by outs. Pirates have a lot of outs left to try to get some of this back. Well, that'll put a bow on that inning for Hamels and the Cubs. And keeps it at 6-1 Chicago.
Fourth inning. Toyota, what drives you?
6-1 Cubs on the UPMC scoreboard. Pirates hoping for a second rally from 5 runs down this year to win. The Pirates have won 9 consecutive games against teams in the division. Another important one here tonight. Try to move within 5 of the Cubs. Lined to Luplow, 1 out.
Well, let's see. We haven't seen a balk or a heart attack. We've seen a lot of other things. Hopefully we don't see a heart attack.
Yeah, weird night.
There's an odor to this so far. But you can clean it up.
Contreras guilty of catcher's interference that allowed Polanco to reach last inning. Cubs have 6 hits. The Pirates have walked 6 and have committed 2 errors, so that is added to the Cubs' ability to score tonight.
Well, the problem for the Cubs is they're leaving too many people on base. 3 innings, they've left 8.
They're 1 for 8 with men in scoring position, so that's kept the margin at least within some range.
Yeah, it has the feel of 10-1, but it's just 6-1. And so many base runners for the Cubbies.
Through Brault, but Rodriguez records the second out. Two up and 2 down for Brault. MLB at bat. That's your #1 Pirates app. Customize your experience to catch every moment all season long. And get Pirates home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB at bat today.
Keep the faith.
Rodriguez. And Hamels will beat it out.
What's that, the third infield hit?
Yes.
At least.
Third infield hit for the Cubs tonight.
Great effort by Sean Rodriguez up and back at second base on the grass. And the jump pass and did all he could.
Hamels smelled a base hit there.
Yeah, probably happy to be swinging the bat again.
First hit as a Cub. Already his third at bat tonight. Nick Kingham started. He threw 51 pitches in the first inning and was relieved by Brault. Brault has allowed 2 of the runs. Both came on bases loaded walks. The Cubs only have 1 RBI hit tonight, and that was an infield hit by Kyle Schwarber in the first inning. Russell has his first hit tonight. And after getting the first 2 men in each of the last 2 innings, this one and the previous one, Cubs loaded the bases last inning, and now they put 2 men on here. Alex McRae had been getting up earlier. If that name's not familiar, he's never pitched in the major leagues. He's been up a couple of times with the Pirates this season, but has not pitched. A starter at Indianapolis.
Hard to imagine him not getting into this ball game.
Yeah, you'd think with the starter going an inning, the shortest start for a Pirates pitcher in more than 3 years. And with the Pirates having a 6-man bullpen before Kella joins the club in time for Friday's game. It's all hands on deck. StatCast AI, powered by AWS. Those are the odds of where Rizzo's going to hit the ball on the ground. That's based on what he's done so far this season. That's why the Pirates stack up 3 on the right side.
Well, we got to get Mercer and Harrison closer together there. That red line was wide open. Or Rodriguez. Excuse me. Sean over there a little bit.
Down the line, but twisting foul.
Lost him a bat. Had that sound, might have been a broken bat.
All right, gave it to a kid. Made her weak. Two on for the Cubs with 2 outs. Softly hit. Carrying. Polanco records the final out. Cubs threaten but do not score. And the score says 6-1. Friday Night Rocks during every Friday Pirates game. This week, Spinning Jenny will be our featured performer as the Bucks take on the Cardinals on Friday Night Rocks, presented by Iron City Beer. Here on our UPMC scoreboard, the Cubs own the advantage, 6-1. Chris Archer will be the starter on Friday Night Rocks, like his Pirates debut. And tonight for the Cubs, they're getting a good debut so far from their addition. Cole Hamels. Trying to make some friends right away. Well, since the news came around yesterday about Archer coming to the Pirates, I wanted to know a little bit more about him. You know, you kind of hear of guys from the other league. You don't see him very much, and to a man, everybody talks about just how genuinely interested he is into weaving himself into the community, doing good. Just enjoys people, just enjoys interacting. And you know, one of the things he talked about with reporters today is, you know, his effort to try to remember everybody's name today. You know, and I know that sounds like common decency, but how many, you know, of today's athletes don't bother to do that, quite frankly? And you know, these are just some of the glimpses of what we're learning about Chris Archer too. So excited to see him pitch. Also very excited to get to know him, and you know, the influence that he'll have not only on the Pirates clubhouse, but he's going to be here a while. He's signed for 3 years after this year, so he's invested.
Watch out.
Now, you're saying that his former teammates that he has on this team, that Pittsburgh is a special place. We know it as such. Archer learning that. As Cervelli will work a leadoff walk, and here's Archer earlier today.
As soon as I put the uniform on, it fit, literally and figuratively. I've always watched from afar and really admired how this organization goes about things, the way they play the game. Hard-nosed. The city, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and I mentioned it to Bob, but it's a blue-collar city. It's roll up your sleeves and go to work, and that's how I was raised.
I was talking about how his dad in North Carolina installed hardwood floors. That was his job. On his hands and knees every day at installing flooring, and you know, just knows what it takes to make ends meet sometimes. And you know, he's very fortunate. He talks about his career, getting to play a game he enjoys very much, takes very seriously.
Now just got to back it up.
Oh, sure. Well, that's always the bottom line.
Yep. It certainly says all the things that you want to hear.
And just blown away too about how everybody's so welcoming on social media. I mean, think about it. Before he arrives this afternoon, what does he have to base, you know, his experience in Pittsburgh off of if he hadn't been here yet? And so in this day and age, of course, social media, and not only from the Pirates and Joe Musgrove and some of the other starting pitchers sending out a picture of where they pretended to shoot an arrow and being an archer as if to welcome Chris Archer, and everybody very excited to have him along. And look at, they're already talking, already thinking about the game. He'll fit right in, already has. Osuna, a strikeout victim.
Number 6.
Archer got to the ballpark mid-afternoon today. After a little less than 24 hours after the trade, he picked up AB jersey at the airport and signed some autographs. Scott Bonnet, head clubhouse manager, his old teammate, and his new teammates. Felipe Vasquez, we saw it right at the end there. He was in the Rays system when he first signed and was a young minor leaguer looking up to Archer.
Some reunion work in that clubhouse.
Sean Rodriguez played with him with Tampa Bay and said that, you know, he really loves Chris Archer. I mean, you know, the guy that he is, one of the few people, I mean, that continues to have a deep impact. They talk in meaningful conversation, friends, real true friends, and his mom's favorite player.
Well, then he admitted that.
Is Chris Archer. And then he said, well, maybe it's me.
You better with Mom.
Yeah. First it's Sean, and then it's Chris Archer. But that just goes to show how much he's had an impact on just about everybody he comes across.
Meanwhile, Hamill's working right along. He struck out 6. Only given up a couple hits so far.
That'll twist back into the seats.
Full count.
Mercer drew a walk his first time. He's on deck.
You know, the Cubs have had people all over the place. They've scored 6 runs. That's a bunch, but it could be 12. And they haven't put the ball game away.
And the Pirates have not had quiet innings either. I mean, you look at Hamilton's pitch count, 75 right now with 1 out in the 4th. And they've had base runners in every inning so far.
We talked about him having been really knocked around recently with the Rangers, but you know, his resume, he knows how to win, so you didn't know what you're going to get. So far he's kept everything together after just giving up, I think, an unearned run in the first inning.
And he struck out 6. That's helped.
Walked a couple. So I mean, it's not surprising what you might get from him. You could get real good, you could get bad, you could get something in the middle. Right now it's kind of it's on the plus side. He's won 152 major league games. Again, he's no stranger to the Pirates. This is a career start number 11. It's 3-3 against the Bucks.
All those years with Philadelphia, 10 seasons.
Number 7.
On the 8th pitch.
We were talking about Archer a good bit all day today. He has pitched in this ballpark. He had 1 start, I think, last year. So not a total stranger. He just never knew where the home clubhouse was.
Yes, yeah. He learned today. Talking with Joe Musgrove. Mercer has fashioned a 9-game hitting streak. They add to it and chip away at the deficit.
That curveball apparently missing. Really, not really missing, but count goes to 1-1.
Well, it's funny how you got to be on your toes tonight. This is already the second home plate umpire. Ed Hickok's back there after Chris Guccione taking a ball off the mask and had to leave. So as a pitcher, Hamels has had to kind of get used to both versions of the strike zone.
Yep, that's your responsibility as a pitcher. Find out the umpire's strike zone, because it's not your own, it's his.
Which these days don't vary as much as they used to, but still there's probably some subtleties to it. And the Cubs had to adjust to a completely different handed pitcher. I mean, Kingham, a righty, started, win an inning, and then Brault, the lefty, came on right after that in the second. Game started under dry skies. A little light rain falling here. And the Pirates blanked in the fourth. It's still 6-1 Chicago.
By Barrel Automotive. With express service, you're in and out in no time. Visit barrelservice.com to find a location near you. And by Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates and fans like you. Let's go Bucks!
6-1 Chicago, fifth inning coming up. Light rain beginning to fall here at PNC Park.
No surprise, I guess, tonight, Joe. Things have been going on as Alex McRae comes on. His numbers for AAA Indianapolis, 3-8, 20 appearances, 18 starts. Out of West Allis, Wisconsin, 6'2", 220. 10th round selection in 2014.
Milwaukee suburb.
Last year, 10-5 in Altoona, 25 starts.
Alex James McRae making his debut.
Major league debut. That's a big night for this young man.
Yeah, you think about
big night.
He's been up a couple of times now, and with the trade of Tyler Glasnow, the pitcher who previously wore number 51, keeps him on the roster for another day, and he can get in and make his major league debut tonight. They'll throw out that baseball, the first
box to be checked.
Yeah.
Faces pitch thrown. Next comes the first strike.
And the parallels don't end there with Glasnow, because you know his biggest moment to date with the Pirates was filling in, making an emergency start back this year in spring training for Glasnow. That's on a hop. And the first man he retires in the big leagues is Ben Zobrist.
Yep. On a weak ground ball to first base. That ball was blistered. Nice pick, by the way, at first base by Jose Osuna. This ball was hit hard. 2-0 count, and what a pick.
Zobrist has to throw the bat away. Osuna's a good defender, especially at first. But he's really polished learning third base down in the minors too. Hayward with a pair of doubles tonight.
First thing you're going to realize, Alex, is these guys really swing hard.
And McRae's had a little bit of experience. 10th round pick back at 14. Played his college ball at Jacksonville University, a Dolphin, down in Florida. Got a little third base. Also pitched, of course. Recruited by Terry Alexander down there, one of the legendary coaches in the Southeast during his tenure. to Rodriguez. And he's got 2 outs.
You have these fantasies at times, and the script you'd like to write right now for fantasy for Alex McRae would be to get some outs, a couple zeros up maybe, and Pirates score a bunch of runs. And on your first night as a major league, pick up a win.
First things first, fight those butterflies.
Yeah.
Facing the RBI leader, Javier Baez.
One thing he's got going for him, the first 2 balls that he got put in play were hit very hard, but right at Pirate defenders.
Get a strike there.
93 miles an hour.
For McRae, being called up, sent back down, called up, and it has been on the roster, I think 10, 12 days so far now in his 2 stints. What if you never get to play? What if you never pitch? How do you tell somebody that you were a big leaguer? You don't qualify for the pension. You don't show up on Baseball Reference. Out to right, and Baez will have a 2-out, 2-base hit.
So if you throw 1 pitch, then you're officially a big leaguer, correct? You deliver a pitch?
In fact, these days you don't even have to throw one, I suppose, right? You could just intentionally walk somebody or pick off a runner. But yes, as long as you appear, you could be announced as a pinch hitter and never come to the plate and be a big leaguer. But there have been hundreds of players who have been on big league rosters and have never come into games through all the years of baseball. And I was looking at one.
You mean the 40-man?
No, on the active roster, but never appeared, never to be called back up, or something goes awry. Pirates had a catcher, Harry Safewright, who was on the 79 team.
I remember that name.
Yeah, never played. Never played for the Pirates in a regular season game, but was on that 79 We Are Family team. It never appeared in the major leagues.
I didn't get a share.
Yeah, right. I mean, he was on that active roster for part of that season. Things like that. What does Harry Safewright talk about? How does he prove?
He's got some pictures.
Sure, right? Did he get a ring?
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that take place all the time. And, all these transactions as Baez will advance to third. And there are so many names that maybe get lost in history, but Alex McRae won't be one of them. He makes his major league debut tonight.
Was that scored a stolen base? I'd already written down wild pitch.
I did as well.
First strikeout.
First major league strikeout of Ian Happ. And so the Pirates still down 6-1. will get his first major league plate appearance. And he will be robbed of his first major league hit by the man he struck out just a few moments ago, and I think Happ is hurt. Might have jammed his wrist on that play. See McRae thinking he might have a hit, and Happ. Look at his glove hand here. The elbow also kind of buckled a bit on him.
This is going to get down on the grass. Been able to check off another box. First major league hit. It's kind of cruel. Holding on to his elbow.
Keep an eye on that as the game progresses tonight. You know that Happ has a lot of family and friends in attendance tonight too, so there's some folks here that winced when they saw him grimace after getting up after that catch.
We got 3 Mount Lebanon graduates that have put on major league uniforms. Donnie Kelly, Happ, Josh Wilson.
Rick Peterson was a longtime pitcher coach, right?
Yeah, Rick, yeah, whose dad was GM for the Pirates. I had him as a manager 8,000 years ago. Pete Peterson.
Foul ball.
Down in Kinston, North Carolina.
They still got a club down there.
Yeah, they were out of business, I think, for a period of time, but now they're back at work.
3 innings of 20 or more pitches for Hamels. Might top the century mark here in this 5th inning. His spot is due up 3rd next inning, but the Cubs are enjoying the lead. Alex McRae making his big league debut. Luplow called out on strikes.
That's number 8 for Hamels. He has had, if I have my numbers right, a double-figure strikeout performance in his 2nd start of the year. 11 against the Oakland A's. And it was the Oakland A's last start as a Ranger that torched him for 7 runs in 5 innings. So they got even just before he left.
Marte has one of the 2 Pirates hits tonight. And Contreras, an errant throw, and Marte will be in scoring position with 2 outs.
And almost killed his first baseman as Rizzo had to reach in the path of the runner. That could have been very, very costly for the Chicago Cubs.
They'll award Marte with a base hit and then a throwing error on Contreras. His 2nd error tonight.
And he comes out of the chute here, picks it up, and this throw. And Rizzo was trying to hold his ground but still reach in. And if he didn't hold his ground and took the body with his reach with the hand, he could have got run over with Mr. Marte. So the Cubs get fortunate on that play. Cost him a couple bases.
Contreras leads all catchers in baseball with 10 errors, 2 more than any other catcher. Polanco reached on his last error. That was catcher's interference back in the 3rd. Let's take a look at our Barrel Automotive League leaders. Since Polanco moved off the plate on June 6th, look where he ranks in the National League. 2nd in slugging. Overall, on base plus slugging, he's right there. 3rd in the National League since June the 6th. And that's not just some arbitrary date. That was the day that In the middle of the game, Jeff Branson, Jeff Livesey, the Pirates hitting coaches, said, hey, why don't you move off the plate? They had been talking about that for a little time, and finally Polanco said, I'm willing to try it. I mean, you know, batting average hovering around the Euchre line. And I mean, he's been one of the best hitters in all of baseball since that time. He said, talking with him today about it, just, you know, he can hit the middle pitch better. He can hit the inside pitch better.
Yeah, he just stopped getting tied up. He was just tying himself up, but couldn't unloose. He couldn't stretch out and extend the hands and the bat. He just ate him up inside.
Yesterday, he homered on a pitch inside. I'm talking with him today about it. He said, you know, that's a pitch that I would have yanked into the seats 2 months ago. And instead, it got out of here in the blink of an eye. And the differences are stark. It's not just the pitches in, too, because, you know, his slugging percentage, just to give you a couple numbers here, on pitches on the inner third and in before the change, it was under 100. I mean, basically, it was an automatic out. Now it's over 500. So he's a big time slugger on pitches in.
Yep.
Pitches down the middle, he's okay. Now, you know, unbelievable. So he can hit everything better.
So sometimes it can be something that simple.
Just a couple of inches. And for Hamels tonight, 9 strikeouts. Well, those guys still having some fun tonight.
Earlier today, he discussed the excitement on the Pirates' end when he had discussions with management.
I didn't realize how interested the Pirates were in me until I heard in Neil's voice the passion and the joy, the excitement that was there to have me on board. And then not too long after, I got a call from ownership, which is, you don't get a lot of phone calls from ownership. It just meant a lot for everybody to take their time out of their day to welcome me and show how much they wanted me here.
You know, guys, it's hard not to be excited after listening to his opening presser today, Joe and Steve, when you hear the excitement and enthusiasm in his voice, and we're going to get to see that enthusiasm and passion on Friday night on the mound, and it's going to be a pretty good night here on the North Shore.
Yeah, and, you know, it dates back a decade. The Pirates' pursuit of Chris Archer. I was listening to MLB Network Radio where Neil Huntington talked about when he became the Pirates general manager. Of course, he was with Cleveland, and Archer was a farmhand there at that time. And, you know, there have been times where he's tried to get Archer into a Pirates uniform. It took a decade, but hopefully it'll all be well worth the wait.
Friday night.
Archer makes his Pirates debut then. Alex McRae making his major league debut here tonight in his second inning of relief. a good year. Just got married in December. A few months later, on a big league mound. So the Pirates are off tomorrow. Let's take a look at our Nissan road ahead. So Friday, Archer in the black and gold against John Gant for the Cardinals. Beginning a 3-game series. Pirates ahead of the Cardinals in the standings at the moment. Trying to keep it that way with a series victory.
Originally going to be Nova's spot, but they move everybody back.
So for the Pirates, Archer, Nova, and then Williams in the series.
Archer will oppose John Gant, who's 3-4. Cardinals come into town.
Cardinals trading Tommy Pham on deadline day to Tampa Bay.
No Mike Matheny.
Yeah, new manager, that's right. Cracked into the corner. Contreras will have extra bases. A 1-out double for Chicago.
The pinch hitter for Cole Hamels.
I'll look at the lowdown, and Johnny Cueto going to be out for the season and likely most of the next with Tommy John surgery. His velocity way down for the Giants in those last couple of outings. That's a big hit to San Francisco's hopes. They're trying to get him back and healthy. The Giants 5 games back, but in 4th place in the National League West, entering play tonight. LaStella bats for Hamels.
He went 5 innings, giving up 1 unearned run, 3 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. A good debut for Hamel with the Cubs. There he is.
Hits LaStella. I hit him right in the hip. So 2 on with 1 out. Cubs have not scored since the 2nd. They only have 1 RBI hit today. It was Schwarber's infield single back of the 1st inning. The rest of the runs have come on walks, ground outs, and an error. All in the first 2 innings tonight.
Russell has grounded into 7 double plays. Big play last night when he overslid third base. The Cubs were in business, ready to at least tie.
Yeah, they would have had the tying run at 3rd with nobody out. Instead, 1 out and the base is empty, and Vasquez cleaned it up from there.
Turned the whole ball game upside down.
He's ahead on Russell, 1-2. Cutter, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Use the changeup more with Indianapolis, trying to get lefties out. Try not to have to face Rizzo.
Trying to get a little extra on that 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Contreras doubled. LaStella hit with a pitch.
That'd be a good shirt brand, Cutter in the Bucks.
And the webbing of the glove may be coming undone here.
Yeah, another sidebar of this game that has featured just about everything. Rays and tears.
I wonder who the resident fixer-upper is. Sean Rodriguez has been known to stitch a few. Usually there's somebody, a non-player, that can do that. Remember, Aaron Harang was really good at that. He and his dad, in fact, had a little side business when he was a teenager. And Russell is aboard. The bases are full of Chicagoans here in the 6th.
And this will be a challenge for the young Pirate pitcher. Bases loaded, 1 out, and working against Anthony Rizzo, one of the best in the business.
McRae has pitched in big games, but probably in a different scenario. He was in the Eastern League Championship last year for Altoona. That is a far cry from facing the Chicago Cubs.
By the way, Joe, remember the glove fixer for the Pirates a lot of years ago was Bob Patterson, left-hand reliever. He's constantly working on the leather.
Got to be a lefty, right?
Yeah, of course.
Starts Rizzo with a strike. You remember these types of situations when you're first cutting your teeth in the big leagues?
Oh yeah, first team I faced was the Braves in relief in the 1st inning. Faced Henry Aaron.
Oh boy,
that game, that was not much fun. Worked out all right.
Would you pitch 5 scoreless? Is that right?
Yeah.
In your debut in relief.
I did, and the situation was interesting because I rode into the ballpark, just got called up, didn't have a place to stay, so Karen and I stayed with the Sisks. Tommy started the game, and I came in to relieve him in the 1st inning as he got knocked out. And then I had to ride home with him after they had sent him to Columbus.
You were beaming because you made your debut.
Yeah. Tough on the house hosts.
That's
all
enough.
Worked out. Tom came back up. Yeah, it's like a similar situation to this. Came into a ball game that was out of hand in the 1st inning.
That counts as an RBI for Rizzo. The Cubs still have only 1 RBI hit tonight, but lead by a half dozen. Hit batter and a walk following the double. So McRae has an ERA.
And the Cubs add on at this point in the game. Every run they score adding on just makes it that much tougher. Trying to play catch-up baseball. Uh-oh, we got the helicopters coming in. There they come, doing their training exercise.
This is the sight we saw last night. They're flying right at roof level here.
4 of them, 5 of them.
Well, last night we didn't know what that was, and it was a little eerie, but local law enforcement telling us that it's a planned training exercise. So now some hoots and hollers from the folks.
That's pretty much all they've had to get excited about tonight so far.
Even up on Zobrist. Out to center and deep. Marte should have room, and does, and that ends the inning. Cubs pick up a run. It's 7-1. Cole Hamels tonight, and his Cubs debut was very effective. 1 unearned run over 5 innings tonight and 9 strikeouts for Chicago, and he's right now in line for the victory by the way that he's pitched tonight.
Yep, very, very impressive. 5 innings. I'll turn it over to somebody I know nothing about. He's not listed on any of the notes or the stats, so maybe you can help me with that.
Oh, you remember Brandon Kinsler from the Nationals all year?
Yeah, but I got nothing.
All right, well, I'll help you out there.
Thank you.
He's here, 3.59 ERA. This will tell you the rest.
Oh, there he is.
He just arrived a few hours ago.
I was looking for him on the notes and finally found him.
Yeah, just arrived a couple hours ago, in fact. Was en route during the afternoon or early evening hours. Was traded for yesterday. Former Milwaukee Brewers, so back in the division. Celebrating his 34th birthday today.
There's the numbers I missed.
Those numbers with the Nationals. A sinker baller that kind of complements the Cubs pen. That's why they got him, a veteran who was a closer. Had an all-star with the Twins last season.
Not overpowering by the strikeout numbers.
Out to Zobrist. Freeze is 0 for 3 tonight. And made that a close play. You know, just one bobble, and you know that might start a big inning.
Rejuvenated David Freeze.
It's just a good sign. You know, you got a 35-year-old who's trying to set the tone for this club that's trying to make the postseason.
That's a professional at bat because of the effort in the ball game that's close to being out of control.
Down a half dozen in the 6th inning, doesn't matter. This could be the seam that opens up the inning that gets him right back in it.
Kinsler delivery, it's a little deceptive, maybe a little hard to pick up. A little twisting and turning as he goes to the top before he gets ready to come to home plate. See what Francisco can do against him.
Ball and a strike. And Cervelli going to have his second hit tonight. He's been on base all 3 times. After the 2-run homer yesterday, had some good bats.
Good night with the bat. Credited with a save of home plate umpire Chris Guccione, who was staggered. Comes up and then comes back over the top, kind of hides the ball a little, maybe 2.5 seconds as he goes back.
Osuna facing Kinsler for the first time. It's the night of debuts, right?
Yeah.
Hamels and Kinsler making their Cubs debuts. Alex McRae, a big league debut tonight for the Pirates. Always talking the game of baseball. Be a fly on the wall down in that dugout during the game.
It's always busy. We wind up with the young pitchers talking about the game and older pitchers trying to kill time.
That is a fair ball. Contreras with a sure out. Up 6 runs. Cervelli at second with 2 away now. Thanks for being with us tonight on this Wednesday. It's gone the way of the Cubs so far as they look to even the series. Pirates won by 1 last night.
They got a leg up with 4 runs in the top of the first inning.
I'm thinking about we were talking about McRae tonight, making his debut, and that long road it takes to make the major leagues. In baseball, you don't just come out of high school and start pitching in the major leagues.
No, not like David Clyde.
Very few, I should say.
Very few.
Yeah.
Very few. 99.9.
Old Texas Ranger. But for Brandon Kinsler, the Cubs pitcher, you think about, with McRae, he went through the minor leagues. He got drafted, went through the minor leagues, gets called up. Kinsler got drafted in the 40th round. Ended up getting released out of baseball and pitched for 3 years in independent baseball in the Northern League, in Winnipeg and in St. Paul, before finally getting signed by an organization again. So these guys, sometimes perseverance is what is needed. And tonight, some patience. Down a half dozen. Trying to get back into that action during the Cardinals series. Talking with him today about that hamstring concern, and yeah, if it's the end of the season, he's playing through it. No big deal. But if he wants to be, closer to 100% and really do the things that he does, he wants to be able to do that. And so, a short DL stint. That's why we see Luplow in that leadoff spot in left field the last few days.
And it also might help that we won last night. So you're looking at, okay, you lose one more day today, and then you got an off day. So that maybe adds to the maybe comfort level of giving them an extra couple days.
Yeah, had the off day Monday as well. So yeah, absolutely, no question. With the 10-day DL now, I mean, that's a big difference. You're not committing to more than 2 weeks without a player. It's only going to be, I think, what, 8 games. Dickerson, by the way, led the National League in OPS for the month of July. That's how valuable his bat was to the Pirates.
Well, on the other side, the rust factor. You know, you miss hitting against major league pitching.
Yeah, can that carry over? That's difficult to probably.
You don't want to get too far away from that.
Josh Bell a little farther along in his recovery. Probably won't be activated right away as McRae strikes out Jason Hayward.
Is that number 3 for him?
Mm-hmm. So 1 out in the 7th. Speaking of outfielders, on Saturday the Pirates will host the Cardinals at 7:05, and the first 20,000 fans will take home this Andy Van Slyke bobblehead, courtesy of Giant Eagle. And there'll be a 90s themed block party out on Federal Street. Andy Van Slyke will be signing autographs for you. Go to pirates.com/bobbleheads. Come on out and join us over the weekend. Bucks and Birds. Javier Baez tonight reached on an error, an intentional walk, an unintentional walk, and a double. McRae, who played his high school ball in New Berlin, Wisconsin, outside Milwaukee for Scott Schimmel there. Eisenhower High School. That was a good program there in the state of Wisconsin. Don't hear a lot of guys that grew up in Wisconsin make the major leagues. Those are
not a
northern reaches, right? You know,
not a hotbed.
Yeah. There's interest, but there's not a lot of weather that goes their way.
Who was the Wyoming guy with the
Brandon Nimmo of the Mets?
The Mets.
Yeah.
You could basically name all the guys from one. Well, I've never heard of too many from Vermont either. Vermont's not a hotbed.
Yeah, the colder weather states. Yeah.
North Dakota.
Just a handful. You know what? Roger Maris from Fargo. Caleb Thielbar, reliever.
Oh, Caleb, yeah. South Dakota, North Dakota.
Yeah, he might be. Now Thielbar's from South Dakota, actually. Yeah.
Idaho.
You caught me.
How about Wounded Knee, Oklahoma? Was Johnny Bench from around there?
I thought it was Warren Spahn, right, or something.
Could be, yeah.
He was from Oklahoma, I think, but not maybe that particular outfit.
Maybe twisted ankle or something.
Ian Happ, first strikeout victim for Alex McRae back in the 5th inning. Strike. Baez was straying earlier tonight and almost caught him napping again.
Behind the batter attempt. That'll increase your heartbeat as a runner at first base when you don't see that throw coming till quite late.
There's 1 and 2, and you're through. So Alex McRae working 3 innings in relief tonight.
Andrew
discussed the topic of whether he'd ever wear that number with the Buccos.
I have a lot of respect for Andrew McCutchen, and his jersey's not retired yet, but I think in the future it will be. I mean, he's done a lot of great things for this city on the field and off. He's what I aspire to be. You know, I aspire to be that influential and that successful. So in that same regard, I didn't want to take his number, especially without talking to him about it. He might not have an issue with it, but just out of respect from him, this is his first year away from the organization. That is his number. And, you know, if I talk to him this offseason, because we're friends, if I talk to him this offseason and he says he doesn't mind, I'll take it. But for at least this whole season, I don't think anybody should wear that number.
So very well stated by Chris Archer, and Andrew McCutchen was able to respond with a tweet addressing that with Chris Archer and his quote, "Bro, you can wear it anytime you want. I'm not in the Hall of Fame, LOL." It's one way to respond if you're Andrew McCutchen, the fact that we're number 22, but I cannot imagine Chris Archer would even broach that topic unless he had a discussion with Kutch himself, which he might be able to have sometime on the next road trip as the Buccos are out there for 4 days, Joe and Steve.
And
right.
you know, and part of that trip, ironically, the Giants will be retiring Barry Bonds' number, and you just reminded me, of course, that number 24, the number that Archer is wearing.
I wonder if he realized Barry wore that number.
It was Bonds' number. But it was most recently, if you can remember back to yesterday, it was Tyler Glasnow's number. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's
the problem with Tyler getting that number 24. Were there weren't many hits left in it.
Yeah,
that number.
So good, give it to a pitcher.
Yeah, right.
Mercer trying to extend his 9-game hitting streak, leading off the 7th.
Hit the ball hard enough last time up, a line drive right at Addison Russell.
Kinsler in his 2nd inning of relief. Just joined the Cubs, made sure the uniform fit, went out to the bullpen.
Very colorful glove.
Hayward, a little bit of drama there, but has the first out. Those guys having a good time on a summer night.
Keeping the faith.
You think they know the score right now, Steve?
Probably not paying too much attention to it. They're here at the ballpark having a good time.
Just having some fun. So Alex McRae's debut is done. 3 innings, 1 run. Not too bad. He's in the book. Do you remember the old baseball encyclopedia?
Oh, yeah. You wanted to make sure you got in there. Then it made it official.
Yeah, you could. Every year they used to print this, what, 1 foot tall book. And it has everybody that ever played the game in it. It was prior to Sean Foreman's great invention, Baseball Reference. But that's, you know, that was the thing, right? Did you ever go to the library or, you know? I'm in the book.
Yeah, I looked at all of them. I wanted to make sure.
Who's who in baseball?
Yeah. You always, I don't know if anybody else did, but I would look too. Who's the name above me? Who's the name above Wade Blasingame? I always knew it was right
order,
there.
Right?
Yeah. Everything is alphabetized. So where am I in proximity? And then Saber came out and said, all right, you're similar in results and all this to this guy and that guy. So it was that was the initial numerology, I guess. Here were your similar guys to what you did in your career, and that list would go on. I wanted to recognize them, who the similarities were.
Yeah, that's on Baseball Reference that has that. And number 9 is Bob Walk. Most similar pitchers to you.
Okay.
The 9th most similar, according to this, whatever the computation is.
I probably ran across that. I'd forgotten that. Well, he won a couple more games than I did too.
Well, certainly in your after your careers, very similar.
Yeah.
To say the least. See how similar? Are you wearing shoes though? Yeah, you're wearing shoes. That's dissimilar.
Yeah.
Frazier pinch hitting will draw the walk with 1 out.
I haven't fallen out of my chair. Well, here in this building.
They also have most similar by age. And when you were 32, you were compared most similar to Dave Stewart.
Wow.
The Oakland A, we remember most, 20-game winner with the A's. So the Cubs manager wants to make a double switch here. Carl Edwards Jr.
He's looking a little overweight these days. Spring bean.
Albert Almora coming on the double switch here in the 7th. A whole true moment later in tonight's game.
Carl Edwards Jr. missed some time, paternity leave, and then earlier missed a little bit over a month with some right shoulder inflammation.
Out of Prosperity, South Carolina. That's one of my favorite hometowns of any of the players.
Mine is in Pennsylvania, Normalville. It's on the way to our cabin. We're as a family are not allowed to stop in Normalville.
Not even as imposters?
Well, sneak in, sneak through.
I might let you get gas there. That's it.
Yep. Speedy Meaties. That's the name of the gas station.
Yeah. Luplow with a man on and 1 out. Trying to give something these folks to holler about here tonight.
Edwards Jr. Slight body, but a big arm, big right arm.
Yeah.
Had some issues with it. As I said, missed a month. Some shoulder issues.
Now to Almora. Just in the game on the double switch. And that's the 2nd out.
It has been a quiet night for the Pirate Bats with just 4 base hits. 2 of them in the first inning.
One by Marte, one by Cervelli. Drove in Luplo in that first. Marte was credited with an infield hit his last time around. His nickname for Players Weekend last year, Carl's Jr. A very hearty nickname for the slight built
Hardy's
right-hander. Right, there you go.
Carl's Jr. We're off in a food direction now.
A fast food chain out in the West. A single-digit number too, right?
6.
Kind of repopularized. Didn't see that for a while.
Yeah, I would think it'd be more fitting for him to wear 1. You know, like, or if he went to the University of Iowa, get a sweater letter with an eye on it.
Marcus Stroman of the Blue Jays, when he came up, wore a single-digit number, and we've seen a few with that. Blake Snell of the Rays, Adam Ottavino, the Rockies, wears 0 for the O in his last name. Mike Leake wears a single-digit number 8 for being the 8th overall pick. Yeah, for I guess the longest time, you almost never saw a pitcher wear a single-digit number, which there's no law against it. That one cracked out to center. Now Mora has room. Allowed, final out in the Pirates' 7th. Still 7-1 Cubs.
Is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
7-1 Cubs, 8th inning coming up. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday night. Pirates have played from behind for the duration. Cubs trying to even this series. And Frazier's going to stay in the game. He'll play out and left. So Luplo out. On a double switch, Richard Rodriguez is in.
4th pitcher of the evening. McRae goes 3 after Brault replaced Kingham.
Yeah, Kingham an inning. Brault and McRae have really hoping to keep matters okay with 3 innings of relief each. Off day tomorrow before the Cardinals come to town. Schwarber with the only RBI hit tonight for the Cubs. came back in the first inning, an infield hit. Every other run is scored from some other wacky reason.
13 left on base for the Cubbies, but they have scored 7 runs with the help of the Pirates. One of those nights so far. Rodriguez has done some very, very good work out of the bullpen. The kind of 3 young Turks, Rodriguez, Crick, and Santana.
All rookies. Until the Pirates added Archer, only Ivan Nova, older than Rodriguez, on the Pirates pitching staff. Yet almost no major league experience. Nova's still a spring chicken at 31. But this is a young outfit here, and Rodriguez, despite a lot of success at the minor league level, never really got an opportunity. Just a handful of games with the Orioles last September. Was outrighted in September. And the Pirates picked him up as a minor league free agent. He's 28 years old.
Somebody saw something in him they liked, and good eye.
That'll be a nice feature on him coming up on Inside Pirates Baseball this week. I mean, I was talking with him today, and I talked with him down in Bradenton. Try to talk with him from time to time up here. He's very soft-spoken, at least to me. I mean, maybe in the bullpen he's chatty. I don't know, but very humble. You having fun? Yeah, he finally cracked a smile. Yeah, I'm having fun up here. You know, first extended major league time. But still very reverent in the fact that, you know, he's not taking anything for granted. I mean, he's spent so much time in the minor leagues.
You have an appreciation for where you are finally.
Working hard every day to keep getting better, to be able to not only stay but to excel. Contreras tonight with a couple of hits.
Good looking cutter there, but does not get the call.
Rodriguez from Santiago in Dominican Republic, grew up on a family farm there.
I remember that city well. We're talking about Willie Stargell. Stargell and I were down there in Santiago. Santiago de los Caballeros.
Was that a winter ball, or what was it?
Yeah. Águilas Cibaeñas, the Eagles of the Cibao Valley.
And Rodriguez plays for that team in the off seasons. Now you got something in common. I didn't realize that you guys both play for that same team. And the Pirates. Contreras hits one over the leaping Frazier. Home run number 9, and the Cubs now lead 9-1.
Not only throws the ball hard from the back of home plate, but hits the ball hard. And this is a line drive that did not take long to get out of here. There's a trailing breeze now that helped it a little bit, but that ball is tattooed. He's not quite sure early on, but finally sees it gone.
Only the 4th home run allowed by Rodriguez. And Mercer will get the first out of the inning. Kind of hard to come in a game that has lacked energy from the early going too. I mean, right? Sometimes it's not. You don't have that same adrenaline, I would imagine.
Yeah. Maybe not, but I mean, you should, because you should embrace every time you get out there. But yeah, it's not the same atmosphere around you. That's for sure. You try to fight that, put it out of your mind, go out there and do your job. Just feel good. The Pirates won the first game last night. So you know the worst you could do was hold serve. And looking more and more like that's going to be the case.
The Pirates have won 9 in a row against teams within the division. They have one of the best records within the division in all of baseball this season. First time in 18 years they've done that, 9 in a row against the Central. And in jeopardy tonight. The other thing too is, you know, some of the other trends, you know, okay, the Pirates have been winning. Who are they beating? Well, they're beating teams with winning records too. They've won 10 of their last 12 against teams 500 or better. So, you know, you see why the Pirates invested in Chris Archer and Keone Kela at the trade deadline. You know, not only for years beyond, but for this club too. Hey, they've got an outside shot, but they've got a shot. Got to keep those guys healthy.
This is a headline screaming out of this game, and I think that bears telling. That's the first put out or the assist for David Freese, I believe.
We'll have some action tonight.
We'll check the research.
So Rodriguez and the Pirates down 9-1 here in the 8th. For the remainder of this one tonight.
By the way, correction from our research department. That was the second assist that David Freese had. He wasn't really close to third base. He was part of a shift, so that's not a busy night for David at third.
Now Brian Dunsing will get some work. ERA over 7. That's surprising. He was very effective last year.
We got another helicopter, but it's not the full assault down the Allegheny River. I think that's a hospital helicopter.
Contreras with the home run. Looking at 9-1. Polanco homer last night. Got a couple of hits off lefties last night. Had been on a little spell, but against left-handed pitching. There's been much that he hasn't been able to do, but tonight the Cubs keep him to 0 for 4. And the Pirates and the Cardinals on Friday. Chris Archer will make his Pirates debut. He'll post John Gant of St. Louis. We're on the air with you at 6:30 with Pirates pregame. presented by WB Mason. Looking forward to see Archer. He said there'll be some butterflies, of course, but tomorrow with the off day, he'll just try to visualize his debut and have that help him be able to go through all those emotions. First time on a new team at the major league level. Colin Moran will pinch hit here for Freeze. Getting the bat against the lefty. .265 overall, but the intermittent action against lefties, Moran is 156. And 2 for his last 25 against lefties, so a chance to get a look. How about that? There you go. Off the bench. Yeah, off the bench against the lefty. 2 lefty starters in this series with a couple of off days on either side of it. Golf clap. That was more of a line drive.
Big red to turn on one.
No one's been able to get Cervelli out tonight. Boy, if he can start hitting reminiscent of those first couple of months of this season. He's had a good series.
It'd be nice to finish off a good year with a couple good months.
Yeah, already a career high in home runs, nearing that career high in runs batted in. He's now 3 shy of that.
Got to keep him on the field. Keep him on the field. Keep him healthy.
Starting both games of this series, but off days on either side of it. We'll see if Elias Diaz does work in a little bit more than what we saw with Cervelli earlier this year.
Yeah, you wonder if they're going to rotate him to any degree.
Yeah, rather than, you know, Diaz just being that kind of straight backup, maybe a little bit more of a split. That was the Pirates' intention coming into spring training. They had said that, and the way that Diaz has played.
He wanted to protect Cervelli from day one in Florida.
It's nice that they've had that kind of duo that, offensively speaking, has been the best catchers offensively in baseball out of the 30 teams. If you look at OPS, they're #1. So you don't get a drop off, which is nice.
Following a long line of catching tandems for the Pirates over the years. Go back to Smokey Burgess and Hal Smith.
And Cervelli on board again tonight. Moran will move to third. A 3-hit day for Cervelli. Getting another hit off a lefty that had been stymieing him until this series.
I think all this is caused by being a good Samaritan to Chris Guccione.
Yeah. Hoping he's okay.
Home plate umpire got whacked with a foul ball and left the ball game.
Hoping he's all right. Back at him pretty soon.
Double clutch, crossing the double play, is Dunsing did a good job of letting that ball go through because it looked like it was heading right up toward the base. Couldn't get the pivot done.
So Osuna will pick up a run batted in. RBI fielder's choice. Watch Zobrist. Yeah.
Couldn't get a grip. Get a grip.
I don't know if he gets Osuna anyway, to be honest. Maybe. Play started, I thought so. Rodriguez has struck out 3 times tonight. Trying to salvage the night. And ahead in the count, 2-1. Rodriguez has hit a little better against lefties this year. Coming into tonight at 250. Looks like Rodriguez will be out to try to complete the ninth.
Save an arm.
One inning from the starter, Nick Kingham, tonight. Bullpen has had to pick up the load with a short pen tonight. And so Rodriguez back out in a 9-2 game. The action, and Christopher Bostic is in a Pirate uniform for the first time this season. He's out in left. Moran stays in the game to play third base. What about Sean Rodriguez? He'll swing over to short. Adam Frazier over to second base. And Rich Rod back on the mound for his second inning of relief. Good to see Christopher Bostic back for the Pirates. Scary situation for him. He had appendicitis a little over a month ago in Indianapolis, and started experiencing some pain out in the outfield during a game, and after the game, started to intensify. Got checked out, and that night underwent surgery.
Yeah, you got to be careful you don't have an appendix that bursts. Last Pirate player to have a kind of not semi-emergency appendectomy was.
I don't have
Neil
that
Walker.
in my appendix, so I'm sorry.
Neil Walker.
Didn't have that indexed. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Good thing it's pretty routine surgery these days.
Just get yourself to the knife and you're going to be fine.
Bostic quipped, yeah, they said you can't lift anything more than 5 pounds. I go, how heavy is your bat, Chris? And he just laughed. He said, okay, all right. But back in action after some work with the Pirates last season.
So Zobrist with a good night, 3 hits for Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, he's been impossible to retire.
Hayward going for it. Early doubles on his resume for the evening.
And both just punched.
Yeah.
Down the third base line.
The skitters.
Yeah. He's always been so interesting too, because he's these big, tall, rangy, athletic guy who plays a whale of a right field and has had some, periodic success at the plate through his career, but never fits the profile of what, he looks like this big home run hitter. Instead, he's hitting balls down the line tonight. Zobrist takes off to third. He's out. Trying to take an extra base, up 7 in the ninth.
Didn't that kind of happen last night? Covey getting thrown out at third base with nobody out. Just off the glove. Quick pursuit by Osuna. Strong throw.
He's got a pretty good arm. Sometimes they hide it, at first base. They hide a guy with not a good arm or whatever, but Osuna's played some third at the outfield. And there goes as a base hit, 3-5 on the putout. And they can erase the Cubs with that double play ball. Pirates coming up in the bottom of the ninth, down 9-2. Cubs tonight. Still a chance to make somebody's day.
It'll be interesting to watch Tyler Chatwood come out of the bullpen for the Cubs, who was starting. But now we're going to the bullpen. Check those numbers. Innings, 94 innings, 82 strikeouts, 85 walks. 85 walks in 94 innings.
He has the highest walk rate of anyone with as many innings since Bobby Witt in 1987. Wild Texas Ranger. This will be his first relief appearance. Remember, the Cubs signed him to that rich 3-year offseason deal. Despite a 4.7 ERA with Colorado last year and a high walk rate, led the league in losses last year. Thought they saw something. Sometimes, that
so reward them with a big contract.
Well, sometimes, they find something, and sometimes history repeats itself. And it has more than repeated itself so far with Chatwood this year. So Christopher Bostic for its plate appearance. Got married back in January. Has number 44 on. He was drafted in the 44th round. Doesn't even exist anymore. Think about making it to the major leagues. A meandering road.
Yeah, that's a long trip.
Yeah. Because when you're down in the minor leagues, you're a 44th round pick. You may not play. I mean, you have to, when you do get to play, you have to really impress. Because those higher picks are always a priority for a long time.
They're going to get the most chances.
And maybe if you're on a team that doesn't have anybody, at that level, at that position, maybe you can make an impact that way. Bostic has played a whole bunch of different positions just to find a way to the major leagues. And he's back again tonight. Chatwood gets the first out in his first relief appearance. Frazier drew a walk, his only plate appearance. And he collects a base hit. Well, Frazier's done a nice job since coming back up.
Yes, he has.
7 for 17. Elias Diaz will bat for Richard Rodriguez.
Surprisingly, that's probably a step forward for Chatwood to give up the hit. Not walking.
Yeah, what's crazy is that, with almost a walk-in inning, and still an ERA under 5.
That is amazing.
I mean. Has worked out of a lot of those jams he created, I'm sure.
Yeah, back when I was living his life, I had an ERA of 9. I think 9 something. So, there weren't many escapes from jams.
Now, we were talking about it earlier tonight because Kingham was having some trouble in a 51 pitch first inning. Brault walked 2 with the bases loaded tonight. It's hard to sometimes even just to throw a strike, right? I mean,
yes, it is. And you try everything. I remember I pitched an entire game in the bullpen for both teams. Just pitched the entire ball game. Just trying to
simulate it.
Yep. Just kept on pitching. I pitched 18 innings. Just trying to work out of it, throw yourself out of it, try everything.
Were you able to throw strikes in the pen? Depends on what point.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
More so than in the games.
Yeah. There's a walk from Chatwood.
And I'm sure Joe Madden is trying to give him an opportunity to find something. I mean, you can't find anything by not being out there. You got to hope something falls into place. And when people would call me asking for advice, I said, just keep on throwing out there because something might click because you did it before. Something might fall back into place.
Yeah, Chatwood before had a high walk rate, but it was nothing like this. I mean,
right. 94 innings, 85 walks. My goodness.
They usually don't get many opportunities, but because of the contract he signed, because of we just saw Yu Darvish, injuries.
Yeah, that's a big number.
He's got some ground balls this year. And where do you see Marte doubled up? Around the horn, especially. But the Cubs secure one win in the series. 9-2 the final tonight, so a split against the division leaders.
Yeah, as we said, thank goodness we won last night, so you couldn't really have substantial damage in this 2-game set. So the Cubs win this one. We won last night, so you move on. This was not a good baseball game. I played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It never had a good start, and it's over. Now you